今日の雲すごく速く走ってる。感謝します。夢の時間よ。寝ちゃいましょうね。おはよう。起きていいなんて言ってない。
Hey folks, how are things going? Afra has finally come out, and I've been waiting for this for a fairly long time because she looks great and she sounds absolutely adorable. So let's jump straight into her kit. The moment you get her, at 1 star, her trait increases her magic attack and healing effect by 6%. A bit weird to see her as a healer, but let's just go along with it. She's immune to frosty tiles, of course, being an horseman, and at the end of the turn she inflicts Nightmare on all enemies within 3 tiles, but if the targets already have Nightmare, she also inflicts Labyrinth of Dreams. These effects last for 2 turns. Nightmare reduces damage by 5%, while increasing damage taken and piercing damage taken by 5%. Not that big, but it also cannot be immunized. Labyrinth of Dreams makes it so that sleep cannot be interrupted in its duration, and we'll see later, she can put a lot of enemies to sleep. When being inflicted again, or the duration is over, 20% of all damage taken in Labyrinth of Dreams is calculated, which should not exceed 400% of the magic attack of the caster. When being inflicted again, additionally deals piercing damage equal to 20% of the caster's magic attack. This instance of damage can be counted as damage taken in the Labyrinth of Dreams 1. Cannot be dispelled, cannot be immunized. This might be a little bit more complicated than I would like, because I don't know when the duration ends, especially since as long as she's surrounded by enemies, she's constantly casting Nightmares, she's constantly casting Labyrinth of Dreams. If Labyrinth of Dreams duration is refreshed, it basically never ends. So I don't know when this 400% magic attack is actually inflicted. And Frosty, of course, is just the standard Frosty tiles. The only skill she starts with is a healing spell, which I don't think we care too much about. As for the max level preview, on top of looking absolutely lovely, her trait goes up to a 12% boost to magic attack and healing. She gets a 2-tile movement increase, which is honestly fairly big. At the end of the turn, Nightmare goes from 3 tiles to 6, which is basically the size of Convallaria's big skill as well. And of course, if the target already has Nightmare, she inflicts Labyrinth of Dreams too, as well as a random level 2 debuff. Labyrinth of Dreams 2 doesn't change all that much, damage goes up from 20 to 30% for all the damage taken, and the magic attack for the last nuke goes from 400 to 600%. Again, this one is fairly big, but I don't think I want to rush her 5 star though. I think as long as we get some 2-tile movement and Nightmare up to 4 or 5 tiles, that's going to be good enough already. As for her skills, Proverb in Fantasy, piercing damage, 50% magic attack, inflicts a random level 2 debuff as well as Nightmare for 2 turns. After attacking, 30% chance to put an enemy to sleep. 30% is a little bit low, but if it lands, this is also going to be followed by her trait, applying the Labyrinth of Dreams, which is going to make it undispellable. So that one character can take a lot of punishment and not fight back. As a reaction, around my phone, she gains Unyielding, so when she's dying, she recovers 30% HP, while taking active attacks reduces damage taken by 15% and transforms into a fawn on a 3-turn cooldown. The fawn is an extra trait, cannot move, reduces damage taken by 30%, transforms back to Afra before the start of the next 2 turns, At the end of the turn, heal all allies within 3 tiles by 60% or magic attack. The Fawn also gets an entire new set of skills. That's a nifty little skill, and this is also where most of her support comes from. Well, her healing support comes from. Tread on Snow, instant, transforms into a Fawn and jumps to the target tile, then deals damage equal to 20% magic attack to all enemies within 2 tiles of the character. Decent AoE, instant skill, which is always nice, but it's on a 3-turn cooldown. 3-turn cooldown also for Phantom in Fantasy. Piercing damage, 50% magic attack to all enemies within 3 tiles of the target range. Before attacking, she inflicts Nightmare, Vulnerable 2 and Piercing Vulnerable 2. This, again, makes it so it's not as good as, say, Lutfi's Vulnerable 3, which is a 30% damage taken increase, but this is 20% here, plus 5% from Nightmare, and it also accounts for piercing damage. Piercing damage which comes from Convallaria, which comes from all the damage over time units already released and to be released, say Nidia, Yserind, not to mention SP Meta. All of SP Meta's AoE damage is piercing damage, and she buffs both, well, she debuffs both. And this basically is the same as her trait. If the target already has Nightmare, inflicts Labyrinth of Dreams. All effects last for 2 turns. After attacking, additionally inflicts Sleep on enemies with Injured or Labyrinth of Dreams. Sadly, this sleep is only for 1 turn every 3, but if you can have Labyrinth of Dreams on multiple enemies, or if you can leave multiple enemies in an injured state, which should be able to, thanks to the Fawn jump and the 50% magic attack damage from here, a massive AoE sleep that cannot be interrupted can be fatal for most enemies. Bosses are sadly going to be immune, we already know that, but we'll think about bosses another time. Third skill, Dreamtelling Game. At the start of the turn, casts a Dreamtelling skill 1 time and gains 1 energy. Dreamtelling skills can be cast in the order with Entered, which gives her meditation for 2 turns, Dream Enlightened, dispelling 2 debuffs from all allies in battle and buffing attack 2, and lastly Dream Blast, increasing physical and magic defense to all allies in battle for 2 turns. Again, basic buffs, not that big a fan of. Meditation is just for herself, but she basically only casts 1 skill. She doesn't seem that energy hungry of a character. And even if it's just meditation, I think we're usually going to run her with Tyr as well, so it's not like energy is ever going to be a problem. The build is very basic, just Phantom in Fantasy plus Tread on Snow and the Dreamtelling thing. Ideal situation, bunch of enemies all nice and close together. Jump in with Tread on Snow, and this is the second skill set. Basic attack, 40% piercing damage. Per skill, jumps to target tile, max range increased with star level movement. Oh, that's nice. So the moment she gets 2 movement from her trait, this gets an extra 2 tile range. 5% AoE damage to all enemies within 1 tile radius of the character. Only 5%? That's weird. Not available during the turn in which Tread on Snow transformation is used. So this one, she cannot double jump basically. Fawn Slumber, single target healing, heal 80% magic attack, and grants the target Innocent Dreams. Removed when being attacked or at the start of the turn. After being attacked, 50% magic attack as heal, plus gains physical and magical defense for 2 turns. At the start of the turn, increases the healing amount to 100% of the caster's magic attack, and additionally grants attack 2 and an immunity to attribute debuffs for 2 turns. Single target buff, fairly nice, but I don't know how often we'll be using this one. In Lethal AoE heal, 60% magic attack, dispel a debuff, and lastly Wake Up Fawn, which is an instant skill that lets her transform back. She sounds so lovely. We can see with this one that everyone goes down to injured, so everyone is also going to fall asleep. And then there's the second Nightmare application. There's the attack buff, auto-casted. We have one little problem though. She's not going to be able to do anything for 2 turns. Everyone has also already woken up despite the triple Z's. This is sadly not the sleeping debuff. The triple Z's, I guess, are either for Nightmare or for Labyrinth of Dreams.
それ怖い夢だったね
That's all the extra damage at the end of her turn.
夢の時間よ
I guess I'm going to need to slow it down so we can see it properly once it happens for these guys.
あなたの悪夢見せて
We can finally jump with this skill.
起きていいなんて言ってない
That's one. Transform.
おはよ
And we can jump again. Because why not?
う寝ちゃいましょうね
Now, since everyone already has the sleeping status, the nightmare, they should all be able to fall asleep.
寝ちゃいましょうね
Because after this, it's time for the second hit. Okay, 1.3, 1000, 1.3. That 1.3 should have been the second application of the Labyrinth of Dream damage.
こら
Now, sadly, my pulse on stream didn't go all that well. Come on, come on, come on. But miracles happen.
もちろん偽物よ
In the end, it had to be 41 pulls, which is like 10 too many, but I'm willing to risk it. Worst case scenario, I'm dropping like $15.
練習付き合ってくれてありがとう
She sounds so cute. 600. Okay, she can go up to rank 10, at least, for the bare minimum. Casting a class skill heals all allies. Not a fan. Single target, 70% magic attack as damage before attacking, inflicts nightmare, vulnerable, piercing, vulnerable. Single target though, but it only has a 2-turn cooldown. Maybe against bosses this one might be a little bit better. Font transformation, and we've seen this one gives her extra skills, or dream telling game with the buffs and clears. I really want the jump though. Let's leave this back for a second. See what comes out before that. Of course, we're going with unyielding. Rank 7. Leave the single target healing behind because the piercing damage plus nightmare vulnerable too. That's way too freaking good. Oh look, we don't even need the rank 11 skills. These are kind of crap. Of course, we pick the extra sleep over on this side too. Yeah, looks like she does need a Castalia, and she needs that Castalia with a little bit of a hurry as well. Tread on Snow, Dream Telling Game, you kind of want to run both. I think for the time being, just to use her as an initiator kind of character, we start with Tread on Snow. The buff for the second turn can wait a little bit, but I do want to pick Dream Telling Game as soon as humanly possible as well. For now, I guess we leave Fantasy Whisper here. As for her gear, the Astral Imprint is going to take a little bit longer to become available in one of the boxes. This should be the second one of the current rotation, so we need to wait for her banner to be over. We need to wait for whoever's next banner is going to be over, either Lutfi or Nydia, and once the character after them comes out, then and only then we're going to have the Astral Imprint available for us. But this one, at 1 star, she gains 1 stack of Dream Omen Doom 1, increasing her magic attack by 2%, and after using class skill, she inflicts a level 1 debuff for 2 turns, stacking up to 3 times, so up to 6% magic attack plus an extra debuff. Honestly, not that big. Once you max this out, 6% magic attack, but she gains 2 stacks of Dream Omen Doom at the battle start, as well as Dream Omen Life for an extra 8% magic attack and a level 2 debuff application. This is actually starting to sound a little bit nice. After casting a class skill, if it's a healing skill, dispels 1 debuff from the target and the character gains 1 stack of Omen Doom. If using a piercing damage skill, the character gains 1 stack of Omen Life. I guess the extra debuffs are nice, but we already have other characters that can keep on applying them, on top of the ones that she already applies herself. Again, Dream Turbidity doesn't seem like that important of a piece for her, so rather than running her signature weapon, I guess a Diffusing Prism isn't going to hurt all that much. If it's the first turn, it actually becomes a little bit important that you bring your targets to an injured state, because otherwise they're not falling asleep. For her trinket, either Origin Hourglass, another 8% magic attack, or maybe something that can help other units as well, say a Roaring Flint to put down some fire for Luvata to teleport onto, or since she has 275 speed, she's 1 speed faster than Kvare, and Old Scrolls of Auguste might also not be that bad of a call. Shield of Justice would be always nice, but I only have 1 copy, it's on Asia, and it's not getting away from there. As for the Tarot, since she wants to deal AoE damage, Dream of the Magician might not be that bad a call. If not this one, I guess there's always the Temptation of Devil. Curse of Fortune, I don't think I would like to run. The buffs are sadly random, the damage this deals is kind of negligible. I guess it would be good for taking traps out if you want to run her in Clash, but then again you're jumping with your deer, so I don't think this is going to make that big a difference. If you want to run her as a dedicated debuffer, Judgment might also be really nice. Extra dispels which she doesn't have herself, plus an extra 10% increase in damage taken from Judgment, or, since both her skills have a 3-turn cooldown, I guess something like Guidance of the World wouldn't be all that bad. Now, when it comes to her trait, 1 star is only 6% boost to attack and healing, 2 star the boost doubles, goes up to 6%, and she already gets an extra 1 movement, on top of an extra tile for applying Nightmare passively. This is fairly big already. 3 stars, movement still only 1 tile, but she gets a +1 tile for applying Nightmare, on top of 1 random level 2 debuff, which is not at 2 stars. So once again, 3 stars carries some weight. 4 stars, 10% magic attack and increase her movement by 2, but it does not increase the range of her trait. That sadly only happens at 5 stars, which takes 100 days to grind for, and I don't think it's something I want to work directly from here, especially since I still need to level up Asia, and since Espinana comes out in 2 more banners. So when it comes to Afra, I think I want to get her up to 3 stars for the 5 tiles Nightmare application, but basically just leave her there as a support slash debuffer.
今日の雲すごく速く走ってる
She sounds so cute. Yeah, let's just do this double caster down there. But what we care about here is waking up and putting this one to sleep right before her trait goes into effect as well. So victory, debuff, and nuke. This one is getting disarmed. Double turn on Estra. That's a 1, and that's a 1 shot. Thankfully the little deer doesn't die that easily. Okay, now she can just... That thing just explodes. She sounds so freaking cute, bro. Okay, these two are definitely sleeping. This one looks like it's not though. Oh cool, she still one-shots. Yeah, let me take these guys out first. And she should be able to take care of all 3. Probably still dies to Dandelion later, but...
やるじゃないか。
At least that's a nice triple kill.
夢の時間よ。それ。
Okay, everyone is still nice and alive, thankfully.
言う通りにしよ
あなたの悪夢見せて。
I can't get over it, man.
おはよ
う。作戦継続だ。
And since he cannot be put to sleep, that does barely anything. Lost, no reaction, there's our roster, there's Nightmare Puppet, Pierce vulnerable, vulnerable 2, Mark of Dreams. And of course the other Nightmare effect.
これでとどめだ。
心配いりません。お任せを。一戦。ご指示をお待ちしております。こら。
朝飯前だ。
And down he goes.
勝利だ。
And we can finally get her up to 60.
練習付き合ってくれてありがとう。
So I guess for the time being I'm going to leave her like this, with Fantasy Whisper, which is going to be exchanged for the buffing skill in about 2 weeks. Alright then, I guess that's gonna be it for me for the moment. As always, thanks a lot for watching, good luck if you want to pull for Astra, if not, hold strong, cause SP Inanna is coming. See you around soon. Ciao!
欲しい